Hey there, this is Chrissy from BingeEatingHelpOnline.com. I'm starting this new video series, and it's going to be 5 days of a live example of what I eat, when I eat it during the day, and also some emotions or thoughts that come along when I am eating, as well as any challenges that I see come into my day. And I want to do this so that it will help you see a live example, understand a live example of how I go about eating and any challenges that come along my way so that I can stop any type of binge eating that might come into my thoughts. And I picked these 5 days because it's a weird 5 days for me. I'm actually in San Francisco right now. I'm in my hotel room. I'm at a conference for my full-time job as a web designer, and I live in Boston, so time change is a little off for me, so it's a bigger challenge for me. Also, today is Halloween, so there's lots of events going on. There's probably going to be lots of candy and treats and all that fun stuff, so that's a challenge as well. Plus, I'm traveling back tomorrow back to Boston, so just being on a plane for so long and having a long day is also a challenge. So I picked a challenging week for you. It's different than my normal schedule, so it'll be interesting to see how things go and my thought process and all that. So I'm going to start with day one, which was yesterday, Tuesday. I started off with, I did some exercise in the morning. I usually do exercise every morning just for like 15-20 minutes. I do my Insanity DVD, which I can send a link for that if you're interested in that. I really love the workouts. They're really hardcore, and you only have to do 15 minutes to work up a sweat and feel like you worked out for like an hour. So I did that, and our conference had free breakfast, so I ended up having some fruit and just a small piece of a blueberry muffin. I only had a couple of bites. I didn't think it was that great. And 2 cups of hot tea. I like hot tea sometimes. Sometimes I like coffee, but if I do drink coffee, I don't really drink that much because then I get the caffeine high and it's not that great for me. Anyway, so that was around 8 o'clock yesterday. And I remember I sat down and I do these 3 steps before I eat anything. I sit the food down in front of me and I just appreciate how it looks. And that prepares me to feeling good about what I'm eating instead of feeling guilty or just like going right into it and not paying attention to what I'm eating. And when I appreciate how it looks, then I also appreciate how it tastes. The other thing is, if I'm eating a huge meal, I determine before I even eat it how much I'm going to eat. Like, for example, if I'm going out to a restaurant and restaurant food is usually pretty large, I decide I'm going to eat half and the other half I'm going to bring home with me or just discard it if it wasn't that good. So that's my step 2. My first step is appreciating the food. Step 2 is deciding how much I'm going to eat. And then step 3 is, as I'm eating it, I stop and just taste the food, like imagine how the food tasted after I've already eaten it. And that way I'm eating it slowly and I'm thinking about how it tastes after I've just tasted it. And it just helps and it gives a better experience with enjoying my food, and it's just helped me so much with being satisfied with less and not overeating. But for this breakfast, I only had a small piece of fruit, a couple of cantaloupe and honeydew and a strawberry, so it wasn't big at all, and I didn't have to do that step 2 really. I didn't have to decide how much I was going to eat. Although I did have to decide how much I put on my plate because it was a buffet style. Around 10 o'clock, I had a small banana, so I had a snack. And then around 12:30, we had lunch. And I went to this cute little hamburger diner place. I was craving a hamburger. I know they're terrible for you, but I haven't had one so long. And the hamburger that I had was absolutely delicious. It was huge, so I only ate about a third of it. And I, did my steps. I appreciated how it looked, and then I decided that I was only going to eat, a small portion of it. And I tasted it after I had swallowed and taken a bite. Tasted it while I was eating it and tasted it after I had swallowed. And I was completely satisfied with eating less, and I was satisfied that I had my hamburger, and it was great. And then usually I have a snack around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but I think because the hamburger was so heavy, I didn't even have an urge to snack. But I did have like a little early dinner. I ate around 5 o'clock, and I just got a veggie sandwich, and I ate about half of it. It was pretty big, but it was much lighter because the hamburger was so heavy. And plus, I like to balance out eating something healthy if I'm going to eat something not that healthy. Even though I enjoy everything that I eat, I try to balance out. If I had too much protein at this meal, I'll eat more carbs at this meal, or vice versa. Or if I ate something greasy and fatty at one meal, then I'll eat something healthy and light in another meal. Thoughts that I had today, well, I kind of went through them. I was pretty good about my eating. I always do this too. I always imagine myself as being really thin while I eat, just because I noticed that when I feel fat, or I'm telling myself that I'm feeling fat, or I'm noticing, I don't know, that I'm not looking the way that I want to, I tend to eat more. So that's some other thoughts that go through my mind. I'm thinking about being slender and just enjoying my food. And that usually definitely helps. And any challenges that I had today? Not really. I didn't have like any strong hunger pains or anything like that. I did allow myself to have one treat. I had a pumpkin spice coffee from Starbucks, which was delicious. I just had one of the small ones, and I was satisfied with just having like half of the coffee, just because it was so rich and kind of thick. Oh, it was a latte, not a coffee. So that's why it was kind of thick. And yeah, I was happy with that. Usually I let myself have like another treat during the day, like a piece of chocolate or a piece of some type of pastry or something, but I really wasn't feeling it this day probably because of the hamburger was so heavy, and I just was okay with what I was eating. So that's my day 1. Post any comments or questions that you have at the bottom of the page, and I hope this helped you. Thanks.